This is The Wealth Puzzle with Michael Mansfield from the Lynn Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Michael provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is The Wealth Puzzle with Michael Mansfield.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to The Wealth Puzzle with Michael Mansfield, and I'm Tana Pennington. And happy birthday, Mike. It's your birthday.
Yes.
I hope you have a
Yes.
wonderful day celebrating. Hopefully you're not going to be in the office for very long today.
Very privileged.
Yeah. You got to get you out of here.
I got my snowballs, though. That's all that matters for Mike's birthday. Snowballs.
Yay,
remember
happy
those?
birthday celebration.
This is it's a nostalgic food item from, what's that place called on Main Street? Jews Market?
Oh, yeah.
Market? Jews Market?
I don't even know.
You
But I know
what
which one you're talking about.
though,
Yes.
like, corner, I don't even know what, right past the Ventura High.
Thompson.
For whatever reason, when I was a little kid, my mom and I would always go there, and she would get me snowballs. And so that's about all I get for my birthday still. Things haven't improved much.
Right.
Well,
You're a hard one to shop for.
Yeah, I don't need hair products. I obviously, not going to wear anything nice. I always wear all my old clothes.
All right.
I've noticed that, like, in most of our videos, I've recorded like one of three different shirts.
You just circle through them.
I need to spruce
Little
up
rotation.
my recording shirts.
Wardrobe, yes.
Shirt items. Well, we do these early a lot, so it's like,
Yeah.
Tana lives in Arkansas or somewhere where it's hours ahead, so we can get in here bright and early and do this stuff before I've even gone back home to get all spiffy for the day. So, anyways, thank you, Tana. It was very nice of you to bring that up. Embarrass me.
Of course. You do it to me all the time.
So Tana was just here in Ventura. She just left. She wanted to go home to watch the hurricane.
Sleep in my own bed.
Nice. She's only had her main computer blow up and her internet go out.
I know, it's crazy.
Welcome back to home.
Thank you.
But while Tana was here, a lot of amazing things have happened, right? It's been a wild few weeks. Politically just clown show, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all got to witness the debate of debates where the Walking Dead Biden. What's funny about that? And it's so amazing to watch this news cycle of even how his Democratic media is turning against him, because for months and months and months, there's been all of these very active videos of, here's Joe Biden cognitively declining. Here's Joe Biden. Something's wrong with him. This guy's the president. This is the guy that at 3 a.m. when there's a problem, you're seriously stirring him out of bed, to deal with stuff. This is the guy. And for months, all the media says is they call them cheap fakes. They call it lies. They say that people specifically cut these videos because they're just being mean.
Right.
And it turns out it's all true.
Yeah,
and as usual, we continue to learn that the media is just propaganda full of crap, trying to just steer us with whatever they want. And it's very unfortunate. I get the polarizing issues between obviously the two sides of politics. I totally get that. I'm not here to have an opinion on that. I don't care what people's personal opinions are. If they're conservative, if they're liberal, that's okay. The reason you are what you are is because of your set of facts, the things you've learned in your life, the things you've been exposed to, the things that you understand, and that's your business. I'm very shaped by the work that I do. I put a lot of time and research into tax law and into certain things like that really shape my political opinions of the people and the policies, things that are going on. My military experience. There's a lot of things that I've had in my own life that get me where I am. Whereas Tana, she gallivants around the world in private jets. And so I'm sure that because of that, she has her very own specific opinions about how it should be.
Makes it sound so glamorous.
For
It's
anyone,
not.
she's looking at me. All I got were snowballs. What would you get? The the So yes, it does look glamorous. I'm jealous. But if anybody had the ability to set all of their bias aside for 2
Mhm.
seconds, which I know everyone watching here, nobody can and nobody will, and nobody's interested. But if everybody could just set their bias aside for 2 seconds and all just have an honest assessment of Joe Biden is old, he is not cognitively there, he is a horrible president. Things have not gone well for the last 3 years. The world is on fire. We have the worst inflation in 40 years. The border has imploded. Like, people really can't do that because they're so entrenched in their opinions, right?
Mhm.
I mean, after watching the debate, it was really sad. It was really disappointing that this is our leader of the free world. This is the guy that we have to rely on. And I would be scared he would choke on an oatmeal cookie at this point, right?
That's terrible.
Well, but it's true.
Yeah. I mean, he's just getting really old. Yeah.
But he's cognitively toast. I
Yeah.
mean, I couldn't imagine that I would have the stamina to be the president. I couldn't imagine that in my 40s, right?
Mhm.
The most difficult, most powerful, most
Yeah.
demanding job on earth.
Right?
And so it's terrifying. It's terrifying to think that there's people that would look at that and because of their, political bias, they would still vote for that guy, on the premise that this is the person that should be in charge. It is
Right.
terrifying and disappointing. Anyways, I'm sure I'll get a bunch of hate mail for that. And you know what? At this point, I welcome it. So I'm very excited to see what rude things people have to say to Tana about this conversation.
Thank you.
Those passive aggressive, direct
Right.
all of your negative opinions at Tana,
Yeah.
not me. She's the one
Thank
that
you.
she's the director of the show. She actually puts out the content. I'm just reading my teleprompter right now, what Tana put in front of me.
No, that is not true.
What? All right.
We don't even have teleprompters.
Other fun and exciting things, Tana. Stop wasting our time.
Okay.
Other fun and exciting thing. So we talk a lot about the Feds, right? The three-legged stool this year. The presidential election should drive the stock market up through the end of the year.
Mhm.
The Fed's cutting rates is a big one, and then earnings of companies. Earnings have
Right.
been holding up, which is good. Obviously, I mean, what's funny is the stock market's been slowly grinding higher since the debate because now the betting odds are that Trump's going to win. I hate to break it to everybody, stock market likes that. Now we'll see if that falls apart. If Biden got replaced with someone else, they slip in Michelle Obama or something that they think has a fighting chance against Trump. All of a sudden, you might see the market get a little shaky on some of that kind of news. And then we have Mr. Feds. The Feds have desperately wanted to cut. Go get in a time machine, watch the Fed meetings in December. Powell's stand up there saying, "Hot dog, don't worry, we're cutting. Cuts are coming. It's very exciting." And they've desperately wanted to cut. Unfortunately, inflation data has not participated very well in the first half of the year. And so here we are, we're in July, no rate cuts have happened, even though everyone was desperately hoping for them in March, and then May, and June, and July, and it keeps going. We're finally at a point, we have a meeting at the end of the month, July 31st with the Feds. At this point, per the little chart here, there's a 95% chance there's no rate cut at the moment. That's the prediction at the moment.
Mhm.
And okay, so now we got to fast forward to September. Well, September, the cards change a lot. In September, there's a 75% chance at the moment that the Feds are going to cut. Now, that's wild because 1 month ago, it was only like a 50% chance. So the odds are actually getting stronger because over the last few weeks, we've had some better inflation data. And all of a sudden people say, there it is, there it is. And then you had committee hearings yesterday on the news all day of Powell being hassled by a bunch of mean Republicans on, is he just going to cut to be political? That's not nice.
Right.
And Powell just says, that's all I heard. So I was watching the news. That's a literal quote. What? Oh, you didn't see that part of his interview, Tana?
I didn't.
It's crazy. So, at the moment they're probably going to cut right before the election. July would have been a much better cut to really juice the election. September will be a Hail Mary. We'll see if their thing works. By the time you get to November, you're looking at a 80% roughly, likelihood that rates are lower. So rates are probably going down if inflation data kind of holds together. The labor market is absolutely softening, which I think is problematic, which will lend even more so to a rate cut. What's funny about that, and we'll do a better show maybe next week on the labor market. The labor market has visually created a boatload of jobs. Oh, last month we created 200,000 jobs. It's just so consistent. Boom, 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 boom. But which I've never understood, but they do revisions of the previous months, right? So they say, oh, hey, 200,000 jobs. Oh, by the way, the month prior, we overcalculated somehow crazy, and, there's 50,000 less jobs. And so in the last few months, every month they've overestimated 50,000 jobs, which is disproportionately high. It's never that high. It's normally like in the high 20s. It's like they're overestimating double. I don't know why, kind of weird, but those revisions are really softening out the data that the labor market is a lot weaker than we think. And as Tana was discussing, I think last time, I lost my train of thought. What were we discussing last time? I don't even remember. It's gone. The problem was I was about to say it, and then I was already planning what the next thing we were going to talk about was. So I was doing two things at once. And they tell you it's kind of like
your brain can't do it
and driving, unless you own a Tesla. I don't know what I was going to say. It was valuable though, I'm sure. It's my birthday. Everyone give me a break. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to be accused of being Joe Biden. See, I made fun of him, and now everybody's going to say, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's called karma.
That's true.
All right, Tana was just in California, and so she's driving around. Her dad drives like an F-350 mega cab, it's just a disgusting truck, right? It's just black plumes of smoke coming off the back of it.
No.
Insane.
No.
But
kidding. Gas was very expensive.
But he actually has that nice little fancy 6-cylinder, the turbocharged 6-banger that Ford makes. It's actually a pretty efficient motor. So one of the things, so Tana does a lot of complaining. Like none of you would know that about her, but she complains constantly about everything.
I don't.
It's almost exhausting. Probably for Tana, almost as exhausting as me constantly hassling her, right? Yeah. So it's like we just like neutralize each other. She complains about everything. I'm mean to her. It just never ends. But one of the things that we were talking about, she wasn't complaining, but one of the things that we were talking about while she was here was, wow, gas is a little more pricey here in old California. Yeah. And it's always hard to find the data on this because there's this disconnect between gas tax and all the other BS they put in a gallon of gas that they don't fess up. So like if you go Google, how much is the California gas tax? It says it's like 60 cents. You're like, well, okay, well, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. What's everybody talking about? And I finally found a really nice breakdown of it where they had it all itemized that I was enjoying. So that's what's on the screen here. So here's the gas tax breakdown. So the state excise tax is 60 cents. There's a cap and trade tax of 28 cents. There's a sales tax of 12 cents. There's the carb regulation cost tax. Now this one's fun. This is a law that we all approved and got passed a little while back. Currently it's 23 cents. But when we passed the law, we put guaranteed increases in it. So that 23 cents is going to 75 cents in about a year.
Wow.
Don't worry, everyone. We already wanted that. I said, I want it. I want more. The underground storage regulation cost, you guys forgot about that, right? That's 2 cents. The federal excise cost tax, that's 18 cents. And then there's some other tax that they haven't determined. So right now, at the moment, we spend $1.43 on all of the taxes inside of a gallon of gas. Now, what's funny about that is I can remember in 2020, because it was COVID, I was walking a lot and I was listening to a lot of podcasts and, whatever. I mean, it's all industry specific stuff. I stick in my wheelhouse. But I remember, getting into this a few years ago and it was $1.16. So it's funny how it's increased to $1.43. But what you can see here on this article is by 2026, once we get to January, it's going to be about $2. So the gas tax just keeps going up here pretty impressively. Now, we did a show a few weeks ago, and one of the things Tana and I talked about was the Caltrans pilot program to charge you for mileage, right? So if you're driving, we want to hit you for 3 or 4 cents a mile, kind of a thing. So we're going to keep track of your mileage. We're going to charge you for that. Oh, by the way, we're raising your gas taxes. Proud to be a Californian. Anyways, what's it like in Texas, Tana? You guys pay $1.25 for gas?
No, it's around $3, but you add your gas tax, and that's why California gas is always way more expensive than Texas.
Well, we're paying for the weather.
Well, oh yeah.
Isn't that funny? Ventura, we went through this big heat wave, and yes, in other places it was really hot, but for some reason in Ventura it hit like 79. It was foggy for 3 days, and I kept getting warnings on the Alexa at home. Your heat advisory is extended through tomorrow, and I'm like, heat advisory? Like,
that's like perfect weather, room temperature.
I was thinking about putting on pants instead of shorts today because I was just, it's not that hot. And it's pretty crazy. So a lot of things going on, right? So obviously this political stuff, like we were talking about, is getting very chaotic. What is the Fed going to do? That's very exciting news. If the Fed cuts, will they juice the market? We're going to find out. Your gas taxes are going up. This is good. And my favorite, and this won't apply to a lot of you, but I think it kind of speaks to some of the microcosm issues that we have in California. This affects me directly, and this affects Tana directly. And so because we are the most important people in our show, we wanted to talk about it, which is funny because you sent me this. We sent me this, 2 weeks ago when you were here?
Yeah.
And I knew about it, but I had never seen like all the data on it, and it just kind of made me mad.
Yeah.
So California has unemployment insurance. Tana and I are the ones that pay for the unemployment insurance, right? We fund this for the employees of the Lynn Group, through salary deferrals. So as employers and people involved in the business, these are taxes that we pay, which is fine. It's the requirement, it's the law. And, if there's a problem, people can go on to unemployment insurance, and that's great. So California ended the year with will end the year with a $22 billion debt to the federal government. So California has a loan on their uninsurance. So their unemployment insurance went broke a few years ago during COVID. We had to borrow money from the feds. We owe the feds a boatload of money. Now, I'm going to fast forward in the article. Tana, how many states do you think have this problem?
0.
Any guesses?
Just California. Yeah.
Well,
just California.
Dang close.
Oh.
Look at the bottom of this article. During the pandemic, 22 states took temporary loans to deal with this. No, that was then. This is now. Currently, only California and New York are the only ones that have this as a problem. That's ironic because I would almost argue those are some of the 2 best run states in the country. So it's shocking to see that, right? Okay, so why does this matter? Why is this interesting? Well, I would make an argument that this is one further chasm of why companies are leaving California. And you say, well, why, Mike? I don't get it. So I can send this article to anybody who wants it, but
they're going to increase the tax on it.
Yeah, so the debt triggers automatic tax increases on employers.
Right.
What? So Mike Mansfield didn't do anything wrong. Mike Mansfield didn't fire anybody. Nobody had to go on unemployment insurance. But guess what Mike Mansfield and the Lynn Group's taxes are doing at the moment? They're going up because California poorly managed it. If anybody goes and Googles all of the pandemic era unemployment stuff, they had billions go to people in prisons. Everybody was filing for unemployment that shouldn't get it. California botched this, and now my taxes are going up. And so that's kind of sad. That's all right. I didn't need the extra money. I mean, you got some extra money yesterday with those debit cards in the mail for your kids. It's so crazy. We don't have time for this show. It's already 20 minutes long. I'm sorry. Tana brings up a good point. So So I get these 4 cards in the mail yesterday, and I had them on my desk for like a week. I thought they were like debit cards to some brokerage accounts, so I didn't even care. And I open them, and it's some kind of like California Advantage Sun card. I'm like, and each one has my kids' names on them, and I'm like, what are these? These are weird. I don't know what they are. I had to Google it, right? And it says, oh, because you're low income, we want to make sure your kids are going to be able to get lunch during the summer. So we're giving each one of your kids $120. And
Wow.
seriously, I called Tana. I was floored by this because this was literally the stupidest slap in the face. Number one, I don't want to sound bougie. That's the hip word I've learned from my daughters of people who want to pretend like they're rich. But I wouldn't consider myself low income. Just, if we're all being brutally honest. So the fact that California printed debit cards, paid for postage, mailed me $480 of EBT welfare food money for my children to get through the summer.
Yeah.
If they did it to me, that means they did it to a lot of people that
Right.
probably didn't deserve it and need it. This is taxpayer money.
Yeah.
California is out of control and has no freaking clue what it's doing at this point. It's an act of insanity. Now, ironically, I've never seen stuff like this before, so I find it ironic that it lines up right before an election, but who would know about that? But great point, Tana. Thanks for embarrassing me in front of everybody, but that's okay. I'm now on EBT. Well, I don't even know, where do I use it?
Yeah.
Can I use it at least to buy cigarettes? Is that
No, I don't think so. I hope not.
I'm just gonna go buy $500 worth of nicotine gum with it.
You can go to fruit
In any
stands
case,
now. I think
before
some of them
Tana
take that.
rudely interrupted us, we gotta wrap up this show because I already know
Okay.
it's way too long and people are already sick of watching it. But the point I was gonna make was when you have a loan to the feds for unemployment insurance, what happens is normally employers are allowed to deduct all of their expenses. So if I pay for unemployment insurance, I shouldn't have to pay tax on that money also. I get it deducted on my federal tax return. But when the state fund owes money to the government, guess what? I can't deduct that anymore. So my taxes have gone up over the last few years. It's crazy. California, blah, 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 is estimated to have a 5% unemployment rate in the fourth quarter of 2024. So we have one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. We have the biggest mess with our unemployment insurance. The Lind Group's tax liability has gone up. And like I said, I think these are further microcosms of why companies leave the state.
Yeah.
Think of a much bigger company than me. Yes, we just have a handful of employees. But what if you had 500 employees or 1,000 employees or anything? That is a massive amount of tax increase because California has botched this whole program. So anyways, I just want to leave all that depressing stuff with all you people. Happy birthday, Mike. Maybe that's what this was. It was my birthday, so I was allowed to be a little ranty. Maybe you guys will all give me a break.
Yes.
From this, you won't be too mean to Tana about the whole thing. But no, seriously, we put a lot of energy in this. Tana and I talk about this stuff constantly. We love our clients. We love the work we do. Very passionate about cash flow planning, about the stock market, about all of these things. And that's why we try to kind of get a little hyped up about it. But we also appreciate your feedback. So if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, curiosities, please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help you. And otherwise, we hope everyone has a great rest of their week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.